Well, good evening, everyone. This is Mike Bass back again with another forecast update for you for this September the 12th, 2023. I'm hoping everybody had a great Tuesday out there so far. Everybody has a great Tuesday evening. Hope everybody continues to stay safe and well, and also enjoy the weather because it's the only weather you got. Okay, in today's video, we're going to be talking about your forecast for Wednesday and Thursday. Also, we're going to take a look at the information on Hurricane Lee. Still remains a 115 miles per hour storm as expected. Check out my earlier video. I talked a little bit about Hurricane Lee, also Hurricane Margot as well. A little bit about Invest 97L and 98L. They did combine, so now they in the one system, just as expected. Also, we're going to talk about the Watches Warning Advisory Map for your location across the nation. Also, we're going to take a look at the Watches Warning and Advisory Map. Also, the storm reports that came in this afternoon. And also, we're going to take a look at the National Hurricane Center Tropical Weather page at the end of this broadcast. So stick around through the entire video. Do not miss a beat of this forecast. And let's go ahead and get the show on the road here, folks. And before we do, let me tell you one more thing. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button today. Smash it. So that way you will not miss a forecast from me at all. Also, like these videos, share these videos, and once again, consider subscribing. Alrighty. Well, let's go ahead and get the show on the road here, folks. Alright, as you can see here, we got some rain showers up here across southeast Canada, back into Maine, back into New York State. We got quiet conditions from northern Canada, back into portion of Montreal, Toronto, Canada, back through Michigan. Also back across southern Canada, southwestern Canada as well, back into Seattle, Washington, down towards San Francisco, Los Angeles, Gulf of California, portion of northwestern Mexico, central Mexico as well, southern Texas. Also dry conditions expected over portion of Montana into the Dakotas, also down toward Nebraska, Kansas, all the way down toward the Atlanta, Georgia area, also in the portion of western North Carolina and western Virginia. Also up towards the Ohio, Indiana region, also toward Wisconsin and Minnesota region as well. Alright, we got showers and storms over southern Canada, right here just east of Vancouver. Also right on the Canadian border there of Montana and North Dakota. Also some showers and storms through portions of South Dakota, back into Montana, Idaho, down into Utah and Arizona, northern Mexico as well. Also down toward Denver, Colorado, into New Mexico, Texas, Oklahoma, toward Dallas and Houston area of Texas. Also through Louisiana, the Gulf of Mexico, down into the Florida area, toward Miami, up to, just east of Atlanta, through Columbia, South Carolina, through Raleigh, North Carolina, over toward Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, New York, Boston, as well, and the portion of Pennsylvania as well. A little bit of shower and thunderstorm activity around Chicago, Illinois, as well. Alright, in the red slashed area, up here in portions of Maine, back in the portion of Philadelphia, some heavy rain and flash flooding possible. Here is Hurricane Lee. Here is Bermuda here. Also down, we got some more flooding and heavy rain across Texas and New Mexico as well. Also, we got some mixed precipitation starting to begin to fall. Also, again, still remaining in portion of Colorado. Also in the portion of Wyoming and Idaho as well. And also in the portion of Utah for your Wednesday. Alright, moving on to your Thursday forecast. We got quiet conditions from Quebec, Canada through Montreal, Toronto, Canada, all the way through portion of Vermont and New York State, also toward Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., down to the Carolina, Atlanta, Georgia, also into Alabama, Mississippi, back into Missouri, Iowa, also into Wisconsin, across portions of southern Canada, southwestern Canada as well, back into Seattle, Washington, through Montana, also back into San Francisco, Los Angeles, Gulf of California, portions of Arizona, southern New Mexico, West Texas, also northwest Mexico and central Mexico as well. Alright, we got showers and storms up here along the Canadian border in southern Canada as well. From portion of North Dakota back over to southern Canada, back through Minnesota, all the way back to Wyoming, down into Utah, northern Arizona, New Mexico, down into Texas, also into northern Mexico as well, down into the Dallas, Houston area of Texas, down into the Gulf of Mexico, through southern Georgia, southern South Carolina, down toward the Florida Keys and Miami, Florida. Here is Hurricane Lee, showers and storms out in the Atlantic. There comes that cold front. It's going to grab Lee and pull him to the north. We have just got some shower activity up here portion of New York State through Boston into Maine, also across southern Canada as well. Alright, over here in portions of Oklahoma, New Mexico, and Texas, around the Dallas area, some heavy rain flash flooding possible. Also, we got some mixed precipitation in Montana through Idaho, into Utah, and also portion of Colorado, just west of Denver there as well. This is for your Thursday forecast. Alright, now let's take a look at Major Hurricane Lee, which is 115 miles an hour winds. You can see here's the eye wall here. In the last cycle, you can see some dry air working in the system as well. This here should start to begin to weaken, a weakening trend on Major Hurricane Lee. Should start weakening down to a Category 2 hurricane. Should be by your Wednesday, by Wednesday afternoon and evening. It should be down under and keep a Category 2 and then to a 1 status as it continues to push off to the north. Alright, let's take a look at some information from the National Hurricane Center. We're going to take a look at the forecast track, or the forecast cone, that is. Alright, should be coming up here shortly there, folks. We'll take a look at the forecast. Okay, to the storm here, still major hurricane, see by 2 p.m. Wednesday, just as expected. Supposed to be Category 2 hurricane, remain a hurricane all the way through Saturday morning. Pretty much going to make landfall between Maine and the Nova Scotia, Newfoundland region as well, and then move on inland here as well. So this is a large hurricane when it continues to move on off to the north. Some of the areas around Connecticut, Rhode Island, maybe Massachusetts, also in the portion of New Hampshire, Vermont, and Maine, you're going to feel some of the tropical storm force winds as well. Alright, we already feeling tropical waves, also rip current risk, and also high surf advisories has been issued along the east coast of the United States, from Florida all the way to portions of the Washington D.C. and Maryland area as well, in Delaware vicinity. That will continue to move on up to the north. Expect high surf, gusty winds along coastal areas, maybe even some tropical storm force winds, like I said, coming up towards Friday and Saturday for the northeastern United States. Alright, if you're tracking this system at home, it's located near latitude 24.7 north, longitude 66.4 west, maximum sustained winds at 115 miles an hour with higher gusts. Now movement is to the northwest now at 7 miles per hour. Eventually it will continue to northwest through Wednesday afternoon. Then it's going to eventually take a northwesterly turn and then head on off to the north. Alright, you guys in Bermuda, tropical storm watches for the island. I would not be surprised y'all see some hurricane and tropical storm force winds. If it gets a little bit to the right of, it get closer to Bermuda, you will feel tropical storm force winds across the island, and maybe a little bit of hurricane force winds as well. Alright, now here's a look at the forecast models from the National Hurricane Center. This is the computer model, the spaghetti-o model we call it. Here's this location right now, pretty well compacted. Now the only kind of one moving to the left, pretty much all of them's in line with the Hurricane Center sees, where it's going to make landfall between Maine and the Nova Scotia region, right in this vicinity here. This is where that hurricane is supposed to make landfall. It could wobble back to the left, like it's been saying. It could wobble to the left a little bit, or it could wobble to the east. But I think this is a pretty well area right here is about the target of Lee at this time. All right, got it. Alright, here it is, Category 3 hurricane, still 100 miles, 100 knot winds, equal to 115. As you can see here, it starts to drop off pretty quickly. by 60 to 96 hour to 108 hour. It should be about this vicinity here, and then it's going to continue to drop like a rock and go all the way down to a tropical depression as it moves over land later on down the road into around the Nova Scotia region and southeast Canada regions as well. Alright, that's your tropical update for now. We'll have another one at the end of this broadcast. And now let's take a look at the watches, warning, and advisory map for your location across the nation. Alright, as you can see here, some tropical storm watches out in the Atlantic Ocean. We got flood watches in effect for portions of New Hampshire. Also down in the ports of Boston, down to Connecticut, Massachusetts. Also southern New York, all the way down into eastern Pennsylvania, and also just around the Rhode Island and Maryland vicinity as well. We got some special weather statements up in the portion of Virginia, some flood advisory, flash flood warnings in effect for northern North Carolina. Still got that rip current risk right along coastal areas of South Carolina. Also, we got special marine warning down in the Big Bend area of Florida, also portions of the Panhandle of Florida. Also, we have air quality alert for south central Texas. Flood watches in effect for you guys here in Nevada. I mean, not Nevada, excuse me, New Mexico. Getting them mixed up there, folks. Alright, also we got some special weather statements for some strong thunderstorms, some flood advisory down in southern Arizona. Flood warning in effect for you guys in Nevada. Air quality alert for a couple counties there in the San Francisco area. Also, some red flag warnings in effect for southwestern Oregon State. And we still got those frost advisories for portions of northeastern Minnesota and northern Wisconsin as well. Beach hazard statements in effect for portions of northern Michigan over towards the New York State area as well. Alaska looks good. The Hawaiian Chain Islands, central and south, gale warnings, north side looks a-okay. Alright, now here's the overview from the Storm Prediction Center. Alright, marginal risk over here in Arizona, also in New Mexico as well, over here in the Carolinas, Georgia, the Pennsylvania region for this line of showers and storm moving through. We got this strong cold front moving through. Going to bring a good cool down to the eastern United States coming up toward the end of this week. So we only got one or two more days. We have to sweat it out, and then hopefully we'll have some refreshing air to replenish our bodies, so it'll feel much like fall coming up very soon. Alright, convective outlook, you can see it. The general thunderstorms in the lighter green. There's the marginal risk also down in South Florida. The current watches, we have none in effect. MDS discussion, none in effect. Storm report came in. We had 0 tornado reports. Wind report, we had 20, 0 with high. Hail report, we had 6, 0 with large. 0 with large, and total reports 26. I would not be surprised to see a few more added to the list. Pretty much the damaging winds took place in portions of West Virginia, eastern Tennessee, central North Carolina, upstate South Carolina, central Alabama, and the Big Bend area of Florida. And the hail report pretty much was in Georgia. I would not be surprised to see some under, maybe also highlighted under some of these blue areas as well. So, alright, fire weather, area looks good. Now it's time to take a look at the last tropical update. Alright, as you can see here, there's Hurricane Lee. We already done gave you the coordinates on it. That's Hurricane Lee here. Alright, this is Margot. Alright, this is location. I'm going to give you the location. Their latitude is 31.7 north, longitude 39.6 west. Movement is to the north at 12 knots or 14 miles per hour. Minimum central pressure is 977 millibars. Maximum sustained winds 70 knots or 80 miles per hour. It knocked up 5 miles per hour early this afternoon. As I predicted, I said there was some dry air working into the system. So like I said, don't forget to go check out that video. I said the system probably would weaken down a little bit, and it did. Alright, here is the disturbance. This is 97L and 98L. I talked about that. They would combine together, and they did. Alright, A broad area of low pressure over the eastern tropical Atlantic continues to produce disorganized shower and thunderstorms. This system is expected to consolidate with a low on the western side, becoming a dominant over the next few days. Well, 2 days, but I'm going to say few days. Gradual development of this low is expected after that, and a tropical depression is likely to form by this weekend, and the system moves to the west-northwest, northwestward at about 15 miles an hour across the tropical Atlantic. Right now it has about 20% over the next 48 hours and 80% over the next 7 days. So get ready, folks. Welcome. This will be Tropical Storm Nigel coming up in the coming days. All right. Before we go, I'm going to give you a glance at Margot's forecast cone real quick. See if anything changed from earlier this afternoon. I showed it earlier. Let's take a look at the forecast cone, forecast track from the National Hurricane Center. Okay, here it is right here. You can see the big wind field showing there's the hurricane force wind. It keeps it a hurricane through 6 a.m. 6 p.m. Friday afternoon or evening, and then a tropical storm coming up over the weekend into Saturday and Sunday, and kind of meanders, and it's going to kind of just fall apart after that as it moves into some colder water. So we can say goodbye to Margot and Lee sometime early to late. It should be early next week. We should be able to say bye-bye to these two here. Alright, well, that's your tropical weather update, the forecast for tonight. Hope everybody has a great evening. Hope everybody continues to stay safe and well. Like these videos, share these videos, consider subscribing if you have not, and we'll catch you back in the next video. So have a wonderful, wonderful Tuesday evening, folks.